Hey everyone. There were a few books that I bought. There were about 5 of them that I bought from both. That I went back to Clint's Comics on last Friday, and I went to Second and Charles to buy. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal these right now. First off is all new, all different Avengers number 7. This is the a continuation of the standoff story arc that's going on in all the Marvel books. Well, all the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. related Marvel books, rather. All right, up next is a book that I've decided to start reading. It's been out for a few years, but something just told me to start reading it. All right, next up is Star Trek number 1 and Star Trek number 55. Now the name of the story arc of this Star Trek number 55 it's the part 1 of a story arc called The Legacy of Spock. And I think Spock dies in this one. I don't know if he lives on in the comics. As we all know, Leonard Nimoy passed away last year. But as soon as I read this, I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. Alright, up next is Star Wars number 17. Now, I'm still a little behind on this book because the last time I read this book was during the Vader Down story arc, and I'm missing 2 issues. But as soon as I find those and read those, I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. And then finally, the Ultimates number 5. Now, I'm a little behind on this one as well because I can't find the 2nd issue of the Ultimates. But as soon as I get caught up with it, I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. Alright, that's 5 more I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,254. Now, as y'all can see, I'm wearing a Brussels, Belgium themed comic hero tee. For those of y'all who don't know, there were some folks. There was a terrorist attack in Belgium, and there were over 30 people had died, and hundreds of people were critically injured. But this, you see, this is the Belgium flag. And right here, this is the city flag of Brussels. And then back here is the Comic Hero logo along with the country of Belgium, which Brussels is located. Now, kind of hits home for us comic book fans, mainly because one of our beloved comic book creators was a resident of Brussels throughout much of his life, and I'm talking about Peyo. Now, Peyo created the Smurfs. Now, some of you younger people are folks my age. You may think that the Smurfs started out in a cartoon, but no, they were a comic book back in 1958 created by Peyo. Anyway, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the people who were critically injured in Brussels. And my thoughts go out to the families of those who lost their lives due to this pointless terrorist attack in Brussels. Okay, that's it. Now then, I hope you enjoy episode 105. Here it is. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. I'm coming to you from Clint's Comics here in Monroe, Louisiana. Now, folks, this is the last episode of the show that will be taped at this location of the store. Now, if y'all were watching last week's episode, the end of it, Claire had announced that the store is going to be moving up the road to 3112 Louisville Avenue. That's in the Eastgate Shopping Center, and it's next to the H&R Block. So, in case y'all weren't watching, or y'all didn't know, or y'all haven't been to Clint's in a long time, or y'all want to come to Clint's, you have today and tomorrow to do so. Although, by the time a lot of y'all are watching it, she's probably already in the store. But the day is April 1st, April Fool's Day. And out of fairness, I'm not going to pull the April Fool's jokes, folks. y'all probably wondering, Vic, what's with the hat? Well, this N does not represent my last name, believe it or not. It actually represents Newman High School. Well, Isidore Newman School in New Orleans. It's a private school. It's K through 12, and it is the school that NFL great, well, football great Peyton Manning went to. He went to Isidore Newman School, graduated there in '94, and in this episode I'm going to be paying tribute to him. Now folks, he's a fellow Louisianian. He was born and raised in New Orleans. Just retired from football a few months ago. So every shirt that I'm going to be wearing is going to pay tribute to him. All right, it's time to give away a free T-shirt. Now, last week's episode, I asked who played the lead role in the 1997 Spawn movie. And I gave the hint that he was on the cast of Tyler Perry's For Better or For Worse, and he played the lead role in the Black Dynamite movie, as well as the lead voice in the Black Dynamite cartoon. The answer is Michael Jai White. And at first, 6 people had answered, but then, just as I was coming in here, as I was walking in here, somebody said, "Hey man, Michael Jai White." And I said, okay. So I'm about to draw their names. 7 people have entered. So the winner of the free Comic Hero prize pack for this week is, and by the way, Claire, I do not have it rigged. Just saying.
I know, I was just kidding.
All right, let's see whose name I pulled. Too bad he ain't here, Bobby Chandler. So congratulations, Bobby, you win yourself a free Comic Hero team. So how many is that? That's 2 now. All right. So here's the question for this week.
Cool. Okay.
Sorry, I was a little concerned about Silas here, but anyway. Dang, now I forgot what I was going to ask. No, that's I'm not. That's not going to the blooper reel. That's oh, now I remember what the question is. Which comedian is credited who had a TV sitcom that lasted for almost a decade? Had the character Superman in every episode of his sitcom. Now everyone should know the answer to that one. Well, if you're a comic book nerd like me, you should know the answer to that one. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a free drawing for a free Comic Hero tee, which will take place next week in episode 106. The first episode at the new location. I'm so excited. Y'all just have no idea. It's almost like Christmas with a lot more Monroe. So I gotta ask, any questions?
Questions I walk around in. Questions I didn't questions.
All right, I have 4 questions for this week, and the first question is from the number 2 fan of the Comic Hero Show, and the number 2 fan of my life, my sister, Gabrielle Nunley from Bossier City, Louisiana. She asked, since you're paying tribute to Peyton Manning in this episode, how would you interpret him as a superhero? Well, since you have to remember his nickname is the Sheriff. Well, not so much that his nickname is the Sheriff, but why his nickname is the Sheriff. The reason why he was given his nickname by former NFL head coach and current Monday Night Football analyst John Gruden is because of his ability to call audibles while under center. And so, with that being said, I think his power would be to call audibles or to alter his surroundings, kind of like a male version of the Scarlet Witch, if you will. And of course, his other power would be he would have super strength to the point where he would throw footballs and break through solid steel. So yeah, that's what I think he would look like. All right, this next question is from Courtney Emerson from Arlington, Texas. He asks, did you enjoy Batman vs. Superman? And if not, what did you like about it? Well, Courtney, it's funny you mention that, because I haven't seen it yet. I know. Boo me. Boo me. However, I am going to go see it this evening. Life 101 kind of got in the way, and I wasn't able to watch. But I will see it tonight, and I'll let you know what happens in episode 106 of the Comic Hero Show. All right, and also, Courtney, I'm going to ask and answer your question again on the show. All right, this next question comes from Mitch Wyatt from Bastrop, Louisiana. He asks, what the hell is happening to the Amazing Spider-Man? What is wrong with that book? Well, Mitch, to answer that question, you would have to go all the way back to the Superior Spider-Man. Now, in this book, Otto Octavius, well, really at the end of the original volume of Amazing Spider-Man, Otto Octavius swapped minds with Peter Parker, and he burnt a lot of bridges. I mean, we all know the story. He burnt bridges, but at the same time, to an extent, he made Peter Parker's life a little better. I mean, he went back to college after finding out that he was only a semester away from earning his doctorate. And then he actually found love. One of his tutor over at Empire State University, Anna Maria Marconi. But then after Peter Parker had finally, got control of himself, or he finally got back in his own body, he started, he found it kind of hard to to rebuild those bridges that Octavius had burnt. But he found himself not only having a doctorate, but also the founder and CEO of Parker Industries. And he's having to atone this. This book right here is him finally embracing the fact that he is CEO of Parker Industries. And it's reached a global scale. It's no longer just in New York. It's all over the country. I mean, it's in China. It's in England. It's in Melbourne, Australia, if you will. It's all over the world. And he's taken the new term, with great power comes great responsibility, to a new level. And I mean, the only thing that I didn't like about it was the story arc where Cloak and Dagger were brainwashed by Mr. Negative. But I mean, and one other thing that I really didn't like about the book, is that the main headquarters of Parker Industries used to be the Baxter Building. Now keep in mind that Reed, Sue, Valeria, Franklin, and all the other members of the Future Foundation are not on Earth. They are rebuilding the multiverse. And if you read Amazing Spider-Man #3, you would find out that the Human Torch didn't really sit well. That didn't really sit well with them at all. Now keep in mind, the Torch is now a member of the Inhumans and an Avenger. So, Mitch, I would probably have to say that he's kicked it up a notch. And here's the thing, I always trust the judgment of the writer of Amazing Spider-Man, Dan Slott. I mean, he's been a part of this book probably for about the last 8 years. And I think for the most part, he's doing a good job. I mean, it may seem kind of odd, but it could get better, hopefully. All right, the last question comes from Brandon Ringo from West Monroe, Louisiana. What are your thoughts on DC Rebirth's new Asian Superman book being done by Gene Yang? Good idea or greatest idea? Brandon, I'm actually going to talk about that in the Comically Speaking segment, so stay tuned for that. Right now, a good friend, Chadwick Griffin, has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown that is quite justified. Representing Marvel, we have the Punisher. And representing Rebellion Developments, we have Judge Dredd. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Punisher versus Judge Dredd. The Punisher is an expert in military and guerrilla tactics, marksmanship, close quarters combat, infiltration, demolitions, and special forces training. Judge Dredd is an excellent marksman, expert in unarmed combat, and possesses bionic eyes that grant 20/20 night vision and reduced blinking rate. Who would win? You would think the Punisher would have the upper hand in this fight, but not so fast. Remember, Judge Dredd possesses bionic eyes. It'd be hard for the Punisher to get off a clean shot without Dredd not detecting it. Dredd takes a few shots of his own and shoots the Punisher in each of his joints. The Punisher instantly falls to the ground, but utters the word poison. A poisonous dart comes shooting from a voice-activated contraption that the Punisher rigged up prior to the fight and kills Dredd instantly. The Punisher wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. And if you have any requests for the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown, as well as the Any Question segment, contact info is down there. Alright, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the rebranding of Mera, Aquaman's significant other. And the name that she's going to be going by is so astute that to me, it just sounds pathetic. Cullen Bunn, who is currently writing Aquaman, is going to start calling her Aquawoman. Now, I think they should have gone with something a lot more original. They should have put a lot of more thought into that. I mean, to me, Aquawoman just sounds way too astute, way too obvious. But you know, different strokes for different folks. I mean, I think that I think there's a reason that he's doing that. I hope it has nothing to do with the Aquaman remake when Amber Heard plays Mera, or it may have something to do with the the DC rebirths. I don't know. But you have to. But one thing, speaking of Aquaman, one thing is Jeff Johns, Jeff Parker, and Cullen Bunn have made him more than just a lame character that gets made fun of by late night talk show hosts. I mean, they have taken, especially Jeff Johns, who started all this, have taken the King of the Seven Seas to a whole new level. He's both legit on land, on water. He does more than just talk to sea animals. I mean, he can control water. Well, really in the original DC universe, he can control water. And so yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. And the next thing I want to talk about, DC Rebirth. I saw the live DC Rebirth live on YouTube over the weekend. Holy cow! So I mean, some of the stuff that they're doing, it makes me want to be more excited about DC. I've been this excited about DC since Infinite Crisis 10 years ago. For starters, Dan Jurgens is back on Superman. I mean, to me, Dan Jurgens was one of my all-time favorite writers on Superman, behind John Byrne and Jeff Loeb. And not only that, not only is he back on Superman, the real Superman is back. That's right, folks. The Superman from the original DC universe is coming back, and he's not coming back alone. Lois Lane is going to be coming back, so what that means is their marriage is going to be rewritten in the books. And also, if you've been reading Convergence from last summer, you would know that Lois gave birth to a baby boy, and they decided to name him Jonathan Samuel Kent. And while I'm also thinking about that, he, as well as Damian Wayne Robin, are going to have their own book. It's going to be called Super Sons, and it's going to be and John Boy Myers is going to do the artwork to that. So I tell you, I'm really looking forward to that, because to me, I think I don't know if he's going to make. I think the best Superboy out of any of them most definitely has to be Connor Kent. In other words, the Superboy from the original DC universe who came on the scene during Reign of the Superman back in '93. But I'm just waiting to see what this Superboy has. And then there's some other books, like there's the like what Brandon had just asked a few minutes ago about the Superman. It to me, and by the way, Brandon, I'm also answering your question. To me, this book pretty much it's kind of a what if tale. It's an ongoing book, but it's kind of a what if, because you know the New 52 version of Vandal Savage started gaining the same powers as Superman because a meteor came to Earth.
Anymore. Do not.
And so, and to me, I mean, he's pretty much, I mean, it's like what would happen if a good person in the modern day had the same powers as Superman. And I can't wait to find, and it's going to be written by soon-to-be former Superman writer Gene Yang. And Gene has done such a great job on Superman ever since he took over from Jeff Johns. And I can't wait to see what he has in store with for us in this book. And then also the return of Supergirl. She's coming back. Well, now will this Supergirl be young and vibrant, or will she just be young and angry? Because the Supergirl in the New 52 universe was this angry girl who was mad that her planet died. And then Batman, oh my goodness, Batman. Detective Comics is going to become a team book. And all that's going to be in there is Batman, Red Robin, and when I mean Red Robin, I mean Tim Drake, Batwoman, and then get this, Clayface. Now, as to who the identity of Clayface is, that's yet to be determined. Oh, and Nightwing is back. But this time he's not going to be wearing black and red. It's going to be black and blue. Yes, sir. And, oh, and by the way, if you watched last week's episode, I revealed to you what Batman's new costume looks like that debuted in Batman number 50, which came out last week. Excuse me. And also, the Green Lantern books are going to be pretty good. There's going to be a new series called Green Lanterns. And it's going to feature, it's not going to feature Hal Jordan. Instead, it's going to feature two Green Lanterns, Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz. Now, Jessica Cruz was previously the new Power Ring, who was a member of the Justice League. Well, she is now embraced becoming a Green Lantern. And she and Simon Baz are trying to deal with fighting alongside each other and also both being Green Lanterns. And then and then also there's going to be a new Green Lantern Corps book called Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. And this book is going to feature Hal Jordan being a member of the Green Lantern Corps. And I hope that this Hal Jordan is going to be a much better leader than the one in the New 52. Just saying. I mean, there's so much going on, and I just can't tell it all. So I'm just gonna shut up and in the segment. So that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Hey everyone. I have some very, very bad news with the comic books I bought this week segment. I just found out that during the week, there have been folks that have been coming in and buying books out of my shelf. Now, and then on top of that, I tried to find other copies, but there are no more copies. So there's not going to be a comic books I bought this week segment. So I'm just going to end the show right here. So, I'm Victor Nunley, I'm the Comic Hero. We'll see you next week for episode 106 right back here. Well, at the new location of Clint's Comics, which is on 3112 Louisville Avenue in the Eastgate Shopping Center. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero. April Fools, I got y'all. I just had to do that. Well, anyway, first off is phase number 3. This is the penultimate chapter of the miniseries from Valiant, and it features Zephyr, who is a superhero like no other. She is now very rarely do you read a book that has a plus size superhero in it, and which I think is a great idea, because we've got to get past all this body shaming stuff, and I mean, we're all made different sizes for a reason. We can't all be the same size. After all, this world would be boring. But it's a great book. I love it. All right, up next is AQUAMAN number 50. This is the this is the 50th issue, and AQUAMAN has finally seized. Sorry for a little pause, folks. But anyway, he has finally seized control as being king of Atlantis. He is the ruler of Atlantis once again. And just like I said in the comically speaking segment, Mira is going to be redubbed as AquaWoman. Could have gone with something a lot more original than that. Just saying. All right, next up is Back to the Future number 6. Now, I've just read, I just got caught up with this. This book is amazing. Bob Gale writes the script for this book. It's almost like watching a documentary on the Back to the Future movie. This is just how good this is. We find out a lot of things. Like, first off, we find out that the beginning, like, we found out a lot about Clara when she was growing up in New Jersey, from the time that she moved to Hill Valley to be a school teacher. And then we also find out some other things about Marty growing up and being Doc's assistant. And it seems like the bad guy in this book really isn't Biff Tannen or any of his predecessors. It's actually Douglas J. Needles. Well, or as we all know him just as Needles, who was played by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers in Back to the Future Parts 2 and 3. We see him as the bad guy in this one, because he's pretty much bullying Marty and beating him up and all this other stuff. But we find, but of course, like every bad guy, he goes down. All right, and lastly, and I'm so excited about this book, Batman and Robin Eternal number 26. This is the conclusion. And I hope I'm getting it right this time, Claire.
Look at the cover.
Yes, this is the conclusion to this maxi series from DC, and the Robins have pulled out all the stops. They've recruited a whole bunch of bad associates. They even recruited the faux Paul Batman, as I like to call him, but really James Gordon inside the suit. And then they ended up getting the lead Robin from Iron Robin, and then Catwoman and Batgirl and Batwoman, just to name a few. And they better hurry up and find Harper Row and Cassandra Cain, because Harper Row is about to kill Cassandra. All thanks to Mother. All right, that's 4 I bought, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 7,258. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. It's very bittersweet because this is the last episode at this location of Clint's Comics, and You know, I remember the first time I came here. It was almost 16 years ago. I remember I was a freshman at Louisiana Tech, and I got here and then Clay was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" So not much. And I was looking around. I think one of the books that I bought was Avengers number 8, of the 3rd volume. And we started talking. He said, "You like Avengers?" I said, "Yeah." We started talking about some of the characters, and he and I started talking about some of the characters here. And then, you know, there was a lot of great moments. I'm not gonna. You all right, Silas? He's all right. But I'm not gonna really get into details. As a matter of fact, I already did that in episode 100 of the Comic Hero Show. But you know. But the thing is, this store's been here for over 2 decades. The 2 owners we've had here, the late great Clint Thomas and then our current owner Claire Chandler, they used what they had until the opportunity presented itself to be greater, and that opportunity is now. And they're going to, and I tell you, now for starters, the new location is going to be a lot bigger. There's going to be a game room in the back where a lot of you gamers, all you Magic the Gathering guys, you can go on back and do. I mean, and then also there's going to be a little space for me to do the show, but I really don't. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, I've done this. I mean, to me, as long as Silas, please leave that alone.
Silas, back down. Come over here and quit, please.
But anyway, but the thing is, it doesn't matter to me. It does not matter. Please put my keys down, Silas. It doesn't matter where what location that the store is in, as long as it still exists, as long as it's still open. And folks, it is open, and the best, as they all say, is yet to come. And also, and you probably noticed with all the shirts that I'm wearing, these represent all the levels of football. Well, Peyton Manning, you know, he started out going to he went to school at Isidore Newman School in New Orleans, which is a private school. He graduated from there in '94. He went to the University of Tennessee. He didn't really start any games until I think his sophomore year. And then he graduated from there in '98 and then got drafted. Well, actually, he graduated in '97. He graduated early. Smart guy. But I mean, he's not as dumb as he may sound. The guy is smart. He knows his stuff. And you know, he got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, #1 overall in '98. Played all but one season there, and then played for the Denver Broncos from 2012 until this past season, until he retired. Won a Super Bowl with them. Also won a Super Bowl with the Colts. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. But the reason I'm doing this is because he's a fellow Louisianian, and I've been following his career ever since his junior year in Tennessee. And I feel like, you know, he's a great guy, great family guy. Comes from a you know, probably one of the greatest football families of all. Of course, we all know his father is Archie Manning. He played football at Ole Miss, and then had a very storied career in the NFL with the Saints and the Houston Oilers. But if any family members are watching this, and Peyton, if you're watching this, thanks. And also, if you went to Isidore Newman School in New Orleans, if you went to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, if you're in the front office or a fan of either the Denver Broncos or the Indianapolis Colts, thank you for allowing Peyton to showcase his talents for all the years that he did. All right, I'm Victor Noley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 106 at the new location of Clint's Comics. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero. Thanks, Peyton. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. We're coming to you from Dang it! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Comic. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am. Dang it.